Welcome to lesson 7.5 on order of operations. Our objective in this lesson is how do we use the order of operations. Remember, the order of operations, which I talked about in class, are please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P being parentheses, E stands for exponents, my dear multiplication and or division, and that doesn't matter in which order, and then Aunt Sally, which is addition and or subtraction. Again, doesn't matter which one of those you do first, but you always must do parentheses first and then exponents. So let's get started in our lesson, and you can take a little time on this. So what I'd like us to do here is I have a little mental math. I'm going to click on them, and what I want you to do is I want you to write down the answer in standard notation. Remember, standard notation means the answer. Remember, this is not 4 times 3, but 4 times 4 times 4. Please write this in your math notebook and bring it into class with you. So the next one is 3 squared, or 3 to the second power. Remember, not 3 times 2. 0 to the third power. Again, just remember all of these because it's really important. 1 to the third power. And finally, in this last column, we have 5 to the third, and not 15 for an answer. So I'll scroll back up so you can see them. 4 to the third, 3 to the second, 0 to the third, 1 to the third, and 5 to the third. So let's go over to the other column. 1 to the third power over here again. Is it different? I don't know. 5 to the third. 10 to the second, 4 to the second, and finally, our last one is 14 to the second. Again, not 14 times 2, 14 times 14, or 2 14ths. So again, I'll go back up so you can see. 1 to the third, 5 to the third, 10 to the second, 4 to the second, and 14 to the second. So you have 10 problems you need to bring in written in standard notation, which means the answer, not 5 times 5 times 5, but what is the answer of that problem. All right, let's keep going. Our math message. Robin asked her friends to help figure out how much money she needed to go to the movies. She asked her friends, how much is 4 plus 5 times 8? Francis and Zach said 72. Anne and Rick said 44. How did Francis and Zach get 72? And how did Anne and Rick get 44? So I want you to think about order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Who is right and what did they each do? One of them is right, one of them is wrong. And what did they do if they are wrong? Okay, so try that one for tomorrow also. All you have to do is write down how they got the answer. Again, order of operations is key. It says, Robin's friend could not agree on who was right. Finally, Robin said, I need to buy 1 under 12 ticket for $4 and 5 adult tickets for $8. Then Robin's friends knew who was right. Who do you think was right? Okay. How do you use the order of operations? So it says, solve the message problems at the top of this journal page. Okay, so if you have your journal page at home, journal page 222, this will help you. We're only doing the top part of the page. But I think it'll be easier, it'll be easier if you have this with you. Okay, so again, check the order of operations. If we don't have parentheses and exponents, then we have to do multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. All right, so let's keep going. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. If I do these problems in order of operations, on the first one, I would do 2 times 9, which is 18. I can go back over here like I'm reading a book, so I can say 1 plus 18 is 19. 19 plus 4 is 23. So my answer would be 23. And I hope that's what you would have written, right? I mean, that would be good. Oops, I'm going to use my pen on my computer tonight. All right. Now, on the next one, I have to do parentheses again first. So I have 15 divided by 3, which is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. Hopefully you're following how I'm doing this. See how it could be a different answer? If I did these in a different order, for instance, if I just did them in the order, not always are they going to turn out the way we want them to. So remember, it's really important to do them in the order it tells us to do them in. All right, so for the next one, we have 10 to the third power. So that means 10 times 10 times 10, which equals 1,000. So I have 7 times 1,000 because I do my exponents first. And I know 10 to the third power, or 10 with 3 zeros, is 1,000. So my answer would be 7,000. Again, I did my exponents first because I didn't have parentheses. Wow, my circles or my zeros are bad here. Sorry, my airliner is not with me. All right, so in this case, we have two sets of parentheses, so it really doesn't matter which ones we do first. So if I do 9 minus 4, that will give me 5. 5 times 7 minus 7. Well, I know 7 minus 7 is 0. So 5 times 0, and I hope you all know the answer to that, is 0, because any number times 0 is 0. So let's keep moving. On to our last page. And I apologize for my coughing here. I'm trying to get rid of this terrible cold. Use the rules of order of operations to complete these number sentences. Okay, so again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So if I look at the first one here, I do not have parentheses and I do not have exponents, but I do have division or multiplication. So 500 divided by 2 is 250. So I would do 100 plus 250. So that would change things. So I would write down 250 on my line. Now I want to make a point here. Okay, so 250. All right, now if I did it in the order, just 100 plus 500 is 600 divided by 2, my answer would be 300. And that would not be correct. Okay, so please remember, order of operations is very important. All right, so let's try this one together. 24 divided by 6 plus 3 times 2. Again, no parentheses, no exponents. So I'm going to divide and multiply first. Again, because it's going from left to right, I'm going to divide first. So 24 divided by 6 is 4, plus 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 4 plus 6, which equals 10. Hopefully you followed me on that as well. All right, so it says insert parentheses in each of the following problems to get as many different answers as you can. The first one is done as an example. All I want you to do, folks, is just to insert them one time to make it a number sentence. I don't care how you do it, but just insert them to make a number sentence. Okay, so let's review. Let's go back and see what you need to do for order of operations. Okay, so we're going to go back up and we're going to look at our objective, which is how do we use the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and or division, and addition and or subtraction. Then you did your problems here, and you were supposed to bring in 10 of them in your math notebook. Standard notation, again, which is the answer. 10 problems in standard notation. All right. Then, in your journal, this would help you if you had your journal. You could do numbers 1, 2, and 3. How do we use the order of operations? So it says, solve the math message problems at the top with journal page 222. So you will need journal page 222. So then we did these problems together, doing them in order of operations. And finally, we did these couple of problems that I want you to finish up on the same page. Finish up these problems and bring them in done tomorrow. Again, remember on 10 through 11, just insert parentheses one time. Let's see how many different answers we can get with everybody just inserting them once. Great job of listening. Remember, order of operations makes your multiplication and number sentences much easier. So just remember to do it in order and you'll be very successful. Have a great night.